All right, today's Cheer Mom tip is explaining a full out. What a full out is, why we do it, and why your kid might hate it. Okay, so what is a full out? First, it is the team performing their routine in practice exactly how they would perform it up on stage. So that is all stunts, all tumbling, all pyramids, all baskets, all jumps, all their smiles, all their energy, everything as hard as they can, beast mode. Okay, it is October, and whether you are a youth cheerleader, a high school cheerleader, or an all-star cheerleader, chances are you have entered the full out time of the year, whether you're just starting them now or you've been doing them for a few weeks. Okay, so why do we do full outs? Well, first off, we do full outs as much as possible to better prepare us for our performance when we compete. It is never a good thing to do your first full out up on stage. And I have seen teams that do it, and I will just give you a hint, it doesn't end well. Okay, you want your kids to do as many full outs as humanly possible before they compete for the first time. At my gym, on my teams, we try to, we've already started a lot of our full outs in our first competitions at the beginning of December, but you want to do as many as you can in practice that is safe for them, and you want to do as many as you can before comp to get ready for them. What do you do before you're doing full outs? Okay, what are all those practices before you actually start throwing the routines full out? Well, one, they could be training their skills, training their tumbling skills, training their stunt skills, learning how to do the tricks that are going to be in the routines, tumbling, stunting, pyramids, and baskets. We spend a lot of our summer doing a lot of the skill training, figuring out stunt groups, figuring out what passes, tumbling can be better synchronized. So there's time spent with that. Then there is time spent in the choreography phase where the kids are learning their routines. Sometimes they will do this just in one day. Sometimes they might do it over the course of a few practices or a few weeks if they put the routine together in different pieces. And the next thing is to run the routine in sections. So for example, the kids might be able to run the routine to just the opening stunt or just the opening tumbling or run their dance, but they run the routine in different sections. So that way all the kids are safe and comfortable with the skills that need to be in the routine. They know the skills that are in the routine and the counts that is required for them to know, and they become ready for what is inevitably the full out. Okay, so as a parent, what can you expect from your kids' full out? Well, even if they are, or especially their first full outs, and why kids hate them so much. Even if they are a super strong team, if they're older, if they're one of the elite level 6, level 7, whatever, the first full out is always extremely difficult. Why? Because it is like, how to describe? Some of the kids have described it to me, is like running full speed up a hill with weights on your ankles and on your wrists while smiling and trying to look like you're having the greatest time ever for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, so the body, just like you train for a marathon, you train for your full out to be easy, to be strong, and for you to be able to perform everything. Okay, so it is not unusual for the first couple full outs to kind of be what I lovingly call a hot mess express. Sometimes some of the stunts might fall, sometimes the pyramid might fall, sometimes the kids get to their dance and they just look like they have nothing left to give. Sometimes their tumbling passes bust. It should always be safe. The kids should always be safe to be able to perform their first full outs. I know a lot of teams sometimes start watered down full outs, which might not be like their full tumbling. It might be like one skill less than their full tumbling. But when it's time for the actual full out, usually it's a little bit rough, and usually it's really about acclimating the kids to get into cheer shape, into competition cheer shape. Okay, there's a lot of conditioning that's done in preseason and stuff, but there's nothing like being in competition shape. So essentially a full out is when they do their routine, usually towards the beginning part of practices, to get ready to give their best performance possible. Their best performance with a hit zero, which I'll explain what hit zeros are to new cheer moms at another time, but to basically be ready for performing that routine. Full out should be done in competition season at least every practice, multiple times a practice. A lot of times for us, we will go in, we will warm up just like a competition. We will run a full out or 2 or 3, and then we will start breaking down, what wasn't good in that full out, what we need to clean up more, what we need to accentuate, and then we usually finish with some conditioning and stuff. But if you are going full outs right now as a parent, you just, sometimes you just go in and you close your eyes if it's not good or not great yet. You start to see, if you're watching practices, notice that there's progress every time. You know, the first time might be, you know, a couple tumbling busts, a couple stunts that didn't quite hit. And the next time it just slowly and surely gets better. Okay. The best thing is really to be hitting your full outs once it's time to compete. You know, some teams have goals of how many hit zeros they can do before they compete. But full out season is an exciting time. It means that competition is coming around the corner. It's usually one of the biggest struggle parts of the season, especially for the older ones, that, you know, it's where they have to work really the hardest, because it's kind of getting over that hurdle to being able to, you know, perform your skills isolated and then doing it all at once. But full out, it's an exciting time. And as a cheer mom, my only advice to you guys is to just, when your kid comes home frustrated because maybe their full out wasn't perfect, just encourage that they're doing their best, they're trying their best, and that every full out gets better. All right. So that is my little explanation of what a full out is today. Ta-ta.